Well, hold on to your hats and get out the popcorn because, in my humble opinion, and this is not investment advice, the fun has only just begun. If you've been a holder since, 175 or 150, or maybe you're, in at 300 and rode it all the way down to 175, we've enjoyed this time of getting back to 250. Probably going to be looking at 260 later this week, or at least bumping up against it, and maybe going to 300 before the earnings session, or maybe after, maybe just in time for 8-8. We don't really know, do we? But those are speculations that are all over the internet right now. And it caused me to stop and think for a minute just exactly why are folks so heavily invested in Tesla? Why does Tesla have the most retail shareholders of any company? Some people call what we do a cult. they call us fanboys, Uber bulls, and some think we're, just a bit daft. But there's a reason why so many people have dropped their jobs. I mean, stopped doing what they were doing, written books, posts, tweets, X posts, YouTube channels to chronicle the greatest adventure of our time. Unlike some adventures or some chronicling of life, this one has the added benefit of being monetizable. That's kind of cool, right? You don't get money because you watch some great series on television, like, Yellowstone. There's no benefit to you from doing that. But some might think that the money was the object. But if you dig a bit deeper into Stephen Mark Ryan or Warren Redlick or Brian White or Herbert Ong or Randy Kirk, you'll find out that these content creators were really quite successful in other ventures or fields, and some of them are quite well-to-do. Now, nobody that I know of is turning down the money that the content creation is giving them, or the stock appreciation from seeing the stock, do very well over the years. But it isn't the motivation. No, it really, really all comes down to one guy. It comes down to Elon Musk, who is leading those who are most often leading their own adventures. And let me say that again. So in other words, Elon Musk is leading folks like that list I just gave you, who are typically out leading their own deal. But no, they're so excited by what Elon's doing that they're willing to be followers, which is not exactly the norm for this group. They follow because they're overwhelmingly intrigued by the story and the man behind the story. Now, maybe that's true for you. Some answered the question here in the comments last night, and on X yesterday, I posted that question. They talked about the man and the mission as being the real reason. And sometimes it was just one part of the mission. Sometimes it was the whole mission. Sometimes they talked about it being the general fact of following the mission rather than just going after the dollars. Well, after playing the market on and off for more than 60 years, here is my personal current stock playground. Why is my stock playground, the current stock playground that I'm involved in, only about Tesla with a slight nod to ARK? Well, okay, it's because there's, number one, clear magic in companies that have a successful invested founder still running things. Yeah, we have a lot of founders out there that, major big time companies that, that Magnificent Seven, but most of the founders are not really actively investing their time and energy into their baby anymore, are they? But Elon Musk, it's still all the time, 100% invested. Yeah, there's 6 companies or 7 companies. I sometimes lose track, but mostly I think it's about Tesla. Number 2, when the venture capitalists are thinking about getting involved in any kind of company, they're most interested in the leadership. That's number 1. What is the leadership? Elon has the best CV of anyone on earth. Number 3, most entrepreneurs are happy to succeed 50% of the time or more, but Elon not only succeeds 90% of the time instead of 50% or 51%, but his successes are all mega successes. Number 4, it's kind of the scope of the goals that Elon sets. They're beyond imagination. They're just so big. I've thought big a few times, but my biggest goals are minuscule compared to going to Mars, creating reusable rockets, completely rejiggering the entire transportation system. Well, with everything he's accomplished, number 5 for me would be, I think we all feel as though under the right circumstances, we could sit around his living room and just trade war stories. He just has that feeling that he's just one of us. He's just a guy, just somebody we could hang out with and have fun with, shoot a little pool, play a little ping pong. Well, 6, since most entrepreneurs are either great at big ideas or they're great at the detail, we have the rarity of seeing someone who's actually great at both. And that's another thing, I think, that intrigues us. Number 7, who doesn't want to shoot off rockets? Who doesn't want to build big factories? Don't you think it'd be fun to create the fastest car on Earth? What about blow up entire industries with new ideas? Well, Elon, listen to this, Elon is the biggest 6-year-old, 16-year-old, and 53-year-old all at the same time. 8, well, then there's this, a nerdy little kid who gets bullied all the time, outgrows the bullies, learns martial arts, and then becomes the biggest success of the age. Take that, bullies. What a story. That story alone would be something that they would make an epic on television. Number 9, on X and on Spaces, when Elon's there, you feel like you're just part of this club, one of the gang, not a cult. More like a bunch of friends playing stickball at a vacant lot, or just hanging out, after hours in a bar someplace and just talking stuff, just going over, talking about war, talking about world economies, talking about politics, just shooting the stuff. 10, you know what? I said it a couple of times. It's better than any TV show ever for unending drama, mystery, twists, fantasy, intrigue. And unlike a TV show, you're actually a part of it as an owner, stockholder, a consumer of the products, or as a part of the community on X or on YouTube. How does all of this adventure, how does this really advantage you as a stockholder? Well, let's go down a new list. Number 1, every new customer, people that you talk to about the product, people, your neighbors, your friends at work, etc., your family members, and just people you don't even know, even longtime customers, they find the community every day. But everybody that's new to the community gets welcomed in. It's just amazing how fast and quickly people get absorbed. They're seeing some or all of what I just described above, and they're investing in way more than just the stock. Number 2, the community has unique power, as we just proved with that shareholder vote. And thank you, Tesla Boomer Mama. Number 3, the community has Elon's ear. We're literally able to provide him with info that might shape a decision. He and the other folks at Tesla are paying attention to what's happening on X. And so it's kind of interesting. We don't have that same situation with a Google or with a Microsoft. No, we get to be part of the mastermind, if you will, be part of the information that goes into making the next product or fixing the current ones. Number 4, some of the community have gone on to work for one of the companies, or some of the other ones, they used to work for Tesla and now they're part of the community, or some of them are working for Tesla now and they're part of the community. That gives us another kind of a camaraderie with the entire situation. Number 5, we are able to use everything that I just described above, every part of that. Listen to this now. This is a big one. We're able to use all of that in order for us, you and me, to have more information than Wall Street about what is already one of the largest companies in the world and what will be the largest company ever. And that arbitrage is super valuable. Let me just sit on that one for a minute. You know, big investing companies, mutual funds, hedge funds, etc. These guys have private investigators. They have all kinds of highly paid individuals going talking to the IR at the various companies, or going out and digging through the trash, whatever it is that they have to do to get an edge, to just know a little bit more. They're not allowed to use insider trading, but they are, it is possible to learn things that the rest of the street doesn't know, or to have an edge by virtue of information. That's what they're trying to do. Well, guess what? That's what you're doing when you're part of this community. That's what you're doing when you're listening to my videos or other people's videos. And that, just listening to Elon and paying attention to what he does. And then the analysis afterwards is what's critical. I keep talking about this on my show all the time. It isn't so much that you hear Elon say, oh, we're going to make 100 million bots one day. That's our goal. We'll make 100 million bots in a single year. It isn't so much that he says that. It's the analysis of him saying it, then comparing it to reality and comparing it to what he's said in the past and done in the past. And all of a sudden, that gives you the edge, because you know that, as he said, he might be late from time to time, but he always does. Always would be an overstatement by a little tiny bit, but not by much. So then 100 million bots, you can pretty much take it to the bank, and many of you are. So anyway, that's my story about why I'm invested in Tesla in the massive way that I'm invested. It is literally over 40 hours a week that I invest in Tesla, not to mention, of course, having some ownership in the company. So what about you? I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this. Please put your comments down below. And then while you're at it, you can hit the like and subscribe and notify buttons. Of course, later today, I will have a second show in the middle of the day. Haven't decided quite what to do yet. Got a couple of ideas, definitely pulling together some stuff right now. But it will be fun, I promise. And then tonight we have Monday morning, which only appears on Sunday night, where we talk about what's going to be happening in the markets next week, including what's going to happen to Tesla next week. Yeah, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. We're going to go to 260? Will we blow through 260, or will we be headbanging against number 260 and have to go back on down a bit before we try that 300 level? Or will we bounce through all of it and just keep going? Some think so. Some think that there's no stopping Tesla right now. All right, then you can hit Patreon. Of course, you go down and help support the channel. As I mentioned, this is over a 40-hour-a-week job for me, and it doesn't pay very well. That's just the truth. But Patreon can help a lot of guys. Lars and a whole bunch of guys, tell me what they're making on Patreon, and it's way 10 times more than I am. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong with regard to Patreon. Maybe it's just because I was too late and everybody had already spent their money on these other guys. But if you got $3, just, or $5 or $10, it would be great to have you help produce this channel, because it's really, probably, I would say at the very most, it's $30 an hour that I'm making on this program. So help out if you can. That'd be great. And then it seemed like there was one more thing I wanted to mention to you, and it's just skipping my mind right. Oh yeah, yesterday. Oh yeah, this video that I did with Larry yesterday, where we compared the 𝐓𝐿 and AJ's earnings analysis with Larry's earnings analysis, just side by side. Took a look at them. I think you'll find that fascinating. If you haven't looked at that yet, I'm going to put the card up right there. All right. That's all I got for now. I'll see you later in the day. It's been great talking to you.